News and information 570 AM.
96.3 FM HD2. KLIF Dallas. KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth. KLIF.com.
A Cumulus station.
Now, from the 5th floor Cumulus Studios in downtown Dallas, it's time for Inside Real Estate. Here's your host, Michael Kruizinga.
Good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. This is Mike Kruizinga, your local Dallas-Fort Worth area realtor. This is Inside Real Estate. Welcome. Come on in. Stay a while. Sunday, December 6th. And I hope everybody's having a great day out there. If you're getting ready to head to church this morning, you're getting ready to head over there. And hope you tune in for a little while and stay tuned with us. And by the way, we're here every Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Inside Real Estate. And you can always catch all of our archive episodes on InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. And by the way, we're going to be doing a lot of new stuff to the website, and we're going to be getting some better quality versions of these shows in podcast form and all that stuff. We're working on that. We're going to be getting that out there to you here really, really soon. So what do we got going today? Well, we're going to be talking to J.C. Harder with Goosehead Insurance a little bit later in the show. And then we got Terry Wagner here live in studio. We're going to be talking Mortgage Talk, Supreme Lending, Rockwall. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about some headlines. Lots of real estate headlines, and I know I got a lot of those out to you last week. We had a lot of headlines, a lot going on, commercial and residential real estate, so we got that information to you last week, and we got more to throw your way today. We've got some high school sports to talk about. As you know, we always try to talk a little bit of sports from time to time, and, of course, high school sports really ties in the communities, and we think that's a big part of real estate. As you know, we don't just talk about real estate transactions, buying and selling real estate, but also everything that goes on in between buying and selling, i.e. living your life and your home and everything that you do. And so we're going to talk high school sports. And guess what? We've got football playoffs. So we're going to be talking the brackets, kind of give you the latest and greatest. We had some games yesterday, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And then also we're going to talk about, some real estate stuff, how we vet buyers. That is something that we have to do on a regular basis, and sometimes people don't understand how that works. Both on the seller side and as a buyer and as a prospective buyer, you need to know how we're going to vet you. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about if you have major repairs out there and you think you can't sell, well, we can still deal with that. I've got some very current examples of some clients that we're working with and have worked with, and how that works, and how you may not have to come out of pocket to get these repairs done. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk about that. And then also that we're kind of at a really unique convergence of time and factors as far as it's great to sell right now for you. There's a lot of great things going on that are kind of come together, this great intersection here of its timing and just amazing for you to sell right now. So we're going to talk about all those factors that kind of play into that and how we're just in a really unique time in this market right now. So we will get to that also. If you want to talk to us, well, you might take your call, 888-787-KLIF, 888-787-KLIF, that's 5543 on the back end. Website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. You can connect with all of our partners that you hear here on the show there at that website. Of course, you can connect to my real estate website and get over to our other listing pages and all of that sort of thing. I want to advertise on the show, be a part of the show. If you would like to be part of that high school sports segment, connect with me through there. Call, email, text, or otherwise. We had Coach Wood on here from Aledo here recently. Coach Prudhomme from Nolan Catholic recently was on here. Coach McElroy from Burleson was on here recently. And so, if you're a coach out there, and we talk a lot of football, and because I love football, but hey, whether it's basketball, track, volleyball, we'd love to have you in and talk on the show and talk about your program. And, if you've got a, great athlete that is looking to head into the college ranks, we'd like to hear about that and that story as well. So, reach out to us, and we'll see if we can get you on in here in the high school sports segment. And if you missed some of those, like I said, go to the website, check that out. Hey, don't forget our app. If you're actively looking for real estate right now and you need one of the best apps out there to get your real estate that does not have constant pop-ups or advertisements, go into your Apple store or your Droid store, the Play Store there, and just punch in DFW Metroplex Real Estate, DFW Metroplex Real Estate, and then booyah, House and Key pops up, our app right there. You can download it onto your phone. From that app, you can talk to me directly about any listing out there that you have interest in, or if you just have questions, you want to book a showing on a property anywhere here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, we can get that knocked out for you. No problemo. Snap Real Estate takes care of that app for us, and we really appreciate them. Those guys are out in California, and they put together a really nice app for us and take care of that. So snaprealestate.com, that's snap with 2 P's. We really appreciate all that they do for us. So let's start getting into the show. I'll tell you about this. I was at the Mavs game just the other night playing the Rockets Friday night. By the way, thank you for the tickets, Dale. Much appreciated. And girlfriend and I went over to the Mavs game and just had a real blast. It was a really good game. Mavs ended up losing, but it came down pretty much to the wire. Great game, although we watched much of it from the Jack Daniels bar and then the other platinum level bars after that. But we had a great time. It was a really good game. Much appreciated, Dale. Thank you much. And let's get into the show here, folks. Usually, you know how I love history and I love sports, and we start out with this day in history. So here we go. Back in time, December 6th, this day in history. 1534, Quito, Ecuador, founded by the Spanish. And I throw that out there because I just recently saw that American Airlines is starting nonstop from DFW on down to Quito, Ecuador. So I thought I'd throw that in there. Let's go to 1865, 13th Amendment, U.S. Constitution is ratified. By the way, that was abolishing slavery. Let's go 1877, Washington Post publishes their first edition. 1904, Teddy Roosevelt confirms the Monroe Doctrine. This was the Roosevelt Corollary. And, the Monroe Doctrine goes back to 1823, President James Monroe. And this was really a passive thing that they put out in 1823, because obviously in 1823, we weren't really all that powerful. We were barely in existence. But come 1904, we were starting to feel our oats, and Teddy Roosevelt said, hey, anything happens over here on this side of the ocean, that we don't really like, we're going to have to intervene, talking about sort of North, Central, and South America, that is. That's the Roosevelt Corollary. And that's really when we kind of started feeling our oats and saying, hey, we're going to have to tell a lot of you folks on the other side of water, kind of leave things alone on this side. So we really kind of got more engaged, at that time. 1973, Gerald Ford sworn in, first unelected VP, succeeded Spiro Agnew. And then, of course, he also became unelected president down the line as well. 1992, San Francisco 49ers, Jerry Rice catches NFL record 101st touchdown. And by the way, who is the all-time touchdown reception leader? Well, it certainly is the Hall of Famer Jerry Rice himself with 197 touchdowns. There's no one really all that close to him. You got Randy Moss at 156, and actually our own T.O., crazy old T.O., he was at 153, so he was right there. Jerry Rice, what an amazing player he was, one of my favorite all times, and he's at the top of the all-time list. Touchdowns, 197. By the way, who is the all-time reception yards leader as well? Well, it is Jay Rice, 22,895 yards, and he is first. And again, coming in second, but distantly, second and third, Randy Moss and Terrell Owens again. But they're down around 15,000 yards. So that just goes to show how great Jerry Rice was. Nearly 8,000 yards ahead of anybody close to him. I saw a special on Jerry Rice, and this guy was amazing on the field. His work ethic was tremendous, and then off the field, just what a great guy. But I saw a special on him, and he had these most amazing hands. It may have been attributed somewhat to this. He was working with his dad a lot when he was a kid, when he was younger, and his father was in construction, masonry, and so Jerry's job was to catch the bricks that his dad threw to him, and he was catching these bricks barehanded. And if he dropped a brick, and generally Jerry was up on some scaffolding, maybe 10, 20 feet up in the air, maybe he was on top of a building, and so his dad's throwing these bricks at him, fairly quickly, because obviously time is money, and then he's catching them at a good distance, and he's getting them thrown hard at him, and he's catching these bricks with his bare hands. And if he dropped one, of course that's lost money right there, because Dad's responsible for materials. And so just what a great story that was to learn that. And I saw that a long time ago, but I thought I'd bring it up because I saw Jerry in history here back in time. And maybe catching all those bricks as a kid made it a lot easier to catch those hard passes in the NFL. So that's back in time, folks. Hey, by the way, today's December 6th, and we're so close. Had to mention it. Tomorrow is Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th. And, of course, that goes back to 1941. And, it's funny, on a lot of calendars, Pearl Harbor Day is not even on there anymore. But yet you're going to see National Corn Dog Day and National Ice Cream Day and all that other nonsense. But you don't see Pearl Harbor Day? What? That's crazy. Tomorrow, December 7th. Remember, that was 1941, Pearl Harbor Day. And, if you don't remember your history, or you don't think back, you want to look back into it, that was one heck of a coordinated attack by the Japanese on us, by the way. Some 6 aircraft carriers launched 353 aircraft against us in Pearl Harbor. And not only did they do that, they were coordinating attacks throughout the Pacific and elsewhere as well. One heck of a coordinated attack. And I had forgot that the majority of those ships sunk were actually raised and then went back into service in the Pacific Fleet, back in World War II, and in the fight in the Pacific, of course, not the Arizona, but I didn't remember that several of them went back into service. Actually, the majority of them went back into service and went back into the fight. So anyway, tomorrow, remember that, December 7th. It's Pearl Harbor Day tomorrow. Hey, folks, it's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. We'll be back in a few and talk more real estate. See you in a few.
Millennium Title Carroll PC Real Estate is a unique multi-service real estate title, law, and real estate investment firm that handles over 150 commercial and residential closings each month. Their real estate, legal, and tax services range from purchases to refinances to short sales and reverse mortgages. They can handle all of your real estate, legal, and tax planning needs. Their experience offers clients and investors a comprehensive perspective in managing their real estate law and investment needs. Visit txtitleattorney.com, that's txtitleattorney.com, or call 817-310-0136.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin Team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, Mike Kruizinga, we're back. It's Inside Real Estate, InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. You want to chat with us, 888-787-KLIF, 888-787-KLIF. And just found out that our production guy was born in Hawaii. You lucky son of a gun there. Hey, well, what else do we want to talk about? Let's get into some headlines. How about some real estate headlines? We'll give you a little bit of info right quick here on what's going on in the area. All right. Well, Ross Perot Jr., he's got old Hillwood Communities, a Hillwood company, and they're always doing all kinds of stuff. I told you about some stuff they were doing last week. Now we also got some news that they're going to be doing some stuff over in Salina. They have acquired 400 acres from the Wells family in Salina. Plans to develop $500 million community, 1,250 homes are in the plan for that. Wells family has owned the land there around Coit and Frontier Parkway near Preston Road since back before the Civil War. So that land's been in their family for a long time, and 400 of those acres have headed over to Hillwood, and so we're going to be having a new community out there in Salina. Most of the homes planning on being priced at about $300,000 to $500,000, and of course that's going to be in most of it's going to be actually in Prosper ISD, although Salina it's going to be in Salina, but mostly in Prosper ISD. Lots of trails, of course, retail and restaurant space will be available as well. They're planning to break ground on that development in January. Initial phase of homes probably to be ready, say, roughly a year after that, early 2017. So, I always talk about the fact that our inventory is super low, which is great for you sellers because you're getting pretty much what you want. You're getting asking or better. But, we do seriously need some help with new homes, and we're getting that, and I'm bringing these stories to you, kind of as they happen, and that's great that we are, because we're getting so many move-ins from all over the nation. I keep talking to you about how California just decides to keep sending us all of their companies, and that's great for us. We're happy to take them, but guess what? We need to find some homes for all these people too. So more homes coming out in Salina. What else we got going on? Green Brick Partners buys some land for $160 million residential project coming to Flower Mound. Plano-based developer Green Brick Partners, going to be funded by a New York hedge fund. David Einhorn and David Loeb, managing a New York hedge fund there, that are sending some of that money in. 52-acre tract in Flower Mound, looking at about $160 million residential community, which is going to get us about 450 townhomes and patio homes. So going to be smaller, zero-type lot line or small little areas. So we're not looking at, the large estate-style home by any stretch, or even the typical subdivision home. These are going to be a little bit more for probably the young millennial who does not really want to do any yard work at this time. But these are going to be some great homes for that. Again, part of Southgate, 110-acre mixed-use development. This is kind of over around $24.99. Of course, there'll be retail, office, and restaurant and all that jazz. They've been working on this for about a year and a half, and so it looks like this is going to get going here soon. Homes are going to be built by their subsidiary, CB Jenny, and actually it's supposed to be about 5 acres of parks, walking trails, about a $1.5 million amenity center, pool, workout room, entertainment areas, and all that. It's going to be their fourth neighborhood over in Flower Mound. It's kind of a follow-up to Lakeside neighborhoods, which are mostly sold out. So, again, we talk about this. Most of the newer subdivisions are sold out or nearly sold out, and so that's, of course, why we're starting to get some construction, which we need. What else we got going on? Landmark Center over here in Dallas West End, under contract. San Francisco-based Spear Street Capital put the Landmark Center under contract, and Here's what they had to say. Our firm is interested in urban areas, and this kind of real estate attracts the right kind of companies and the right kind of employees, Chairman and CEO John Grassi had said in an interview with the DBJ. 6-story, 103,000 square foot, the red brick building. Obviously, it's been there a while. Actually, I think it's about 100 years old, that building. And now the terms of the deal, undisclosed, and it's still under contract, of course, but supposedly going around $200 a square foot, so not too shabby. And, of course, it's about 90% leased, so that's all good news right there. Hey, new Frost Tower in downtown Fort Worth hasn't been really a big new high-rise in a while. Anthracite Realty Partners, arm of the oil and gas firm Jeddah, has landed a $73.5 million construction loan for the development of the new 25-story Frost Tower, Fort Worth building, and it's going to be downtown Fort Worth. Energy company is moving its headquarters into the 70,000 square feet into this facility, into this building. Frost Bank signed the naming rights, and about 56% of the building is already pre-leased. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty sweet. Really, the first high-rise development in Fort Worth since, say, about 2008. And overall, there'll be roughly 274,000 feet of square feet of rentable space. And then, of course, the parking facilities and whatnot. It's going to be a restaurant and conference center, event center, fitness center, and then lots of terraces, with plenty of views at the skyline. So, new downtown project, which will be another Frost Tower, second Frost Tower in the DFW area for Frost that they have the naming rights to. Mary Kay is going to be moving their manufacturing plant, their R&D and manufacturing plant, over to Louisville. Slated to dollar figure wise be around $100 million complex. Their current plant in Dallas is about 50 years old, so it's about time for them to upgrade and get a new facility. And so they have identified a location in Louisville, and they're kind of saying, hey, we're heading to Louisville, although purchase is not done deal yet, so we'll have more information on that story as it comes along. But, Mary Kay growing, and it's just, the stories we bring all the time is all about these companies that are growing, that have been here in Dallas, and they're growing, and they're needing new facilities, needing more space for employees, or whether it's for R&D, manufacturing, or otherwise. And, of course, all these companies coming in from California that need space as well. So lots of good news in real estate, and we try to bring it to you every week if we can. Folks, we are going to be right back. Guess what? We're going to talk to J.C. Harder with J.C. Harder Goosehead Insurance. We're going to have some insurance talk. We got great information coming your way right there. Folks, Inside Real Estate, Mike Kruizinga. Be back in a few.
Millennium Title Carroll PC Real Estate is a unique multi-service real estate title, law, and real estate investment firm that handles over 150 commercial and residential closings each month. Their real estate, legal, and tax services range from purchases to refinances to short sales and reverse mortgages. They can handle all of your real estate, legal, and tax planning needs. Their experience offers clients and investors a comprehensive perspective in managing their real estate law and investment needs. Visit txtitleattorney.com, that's txtitleattorney.com, or call 817-310-0136.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin Team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731-6730, Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
The J.C. Harder Insurance Agency in Uptown Dallas has nearly unlimited resources when it comes to getting you the best insurance rates and policies for home, auto, and more. As part of the Goosehead Insurance brand, you, the consumer, have the power of choice through the J.C. Harder Insurance Agency Network. For a quote today on all your insurance needs, stop by J.C.'s office on McKinney Avenue in Uptown Dallas. Call 214-643-6108 or visit jcharderagency.com. That's 214-643-6108 or jcharderagency.com.
Hey, folks, we're back with Inside Real Estate. This is Mike Kruizinga, your host. Website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. It's time for another insurance segment with our favorite insurance guy right here in studio, J.C. Harder of the J.C. Harder Insurance Agency. Phone number where they are always standing by for all your insurance needs is 214-643-6108. Website, jcharderagency.com, jcharderagency.com. JC, welcome back. How we doing?
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me again.
Well, let's get into some insurance talk. You know, I always learn something new from you every single time we talk, and I know all the folks out there do as well. So what are we going to get into today?
Today we're going to focus on just different values that relates to a home insurance policy, which we have hit, a lot of this in the last previous weeks or so, but really just to dial into it and making sure that you do have, the adequate and the correct coverage, so it will, save you major headaches at claim time.
Absolutely. And I know when we talk every week, we're always looking out for the folks out there. And insurance is something we don't really look at on a regular basis, but honestly, we really need to do that. And because you don't need it until you need it. But when you're not covered the right way, you end up finding out the hard way, and it really hits you in the pocketbook. So listen to JC, folks, because he's trying to take care of you every single week with information that you need.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with basically every home insurance policy out there, you're going to want to have replacement cost. And, typically almost every policy out there has replacement costs, but they might not have that replacement on different sections or different values of your coverage. And if you don't have replacement costs, then that's deemed actual cash value. And as far as putting it in English or in the event of a claim, anything associated with actual cash value is going to use depreciation, where of course, like replacement costs, they're going to replace those items. As far as an example on your contents, like a theft or a robbery, if you went out and spent, $2,000 on a brand new smart TV and that was stolen and you didn't have replacement cost, then they're not going to give you $2,000 to replace that TV. They're going to look how many months you had it, take in that depreciation. And in a sense, it's like them sending you back to a garage sale for that TV opposed to going back to a mall or Best Buy or department store. Exactly.
And that's what we do not want. We don't want to get reimbursed for the value of garage sale TV because we just bought that thing, spent several $1,000s on it, and we want to replace it brand new, same thing or better. So we want to get that replacement cost. So, folks, you need to pay attention to that because if you have actual cash value and you're not figuring in your depreciation when you have to make that claim, you can really get hit in the pocketbook big time. You want that replacement value. And that was just a small example of $2,000. What if you had a huge ticket item that cost you maybe $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000? Depreciation can hit you in that same way, and it's going to hit you in the pocketbook, folks. So make sure that you've got replacement cost in there.
And absolutely. And I mentioned theft. That also goes down to, worst case scenario, like a fire, like a burn down, tornado, wind, hail, electrical surge. That's a covered peril on these insurance policies. So if it fries every electronic piece in your house, then obviously those items are going to start to add up. So you want to make sure you have that replacement cost on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and with the computer, let's say you've got a family of 4, maybe you got 4 computers plus some laptops. You're going to have some iPods, iPads in there. You're going to have smartphones in there, multiple TVs, all kinds of cable boxes, this, that, and the other. Folks, that amount of money adds up. We could be talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 real quick, depending on your particular price point in your house for your items. But that can add up real quick. And if you don't have replacement value, boy, you could be hit big time.
Absolutely. So almost every policy that Patty and I sell there at Goosehead Insurance is replacement costs. And if anybody comes to us saying we want the absolutely cheapest thing possible, we are still going to spend tons and tons of time on, explaining the benefits, advantages and disadvantages to the different type of policies. And typically it's not that much more expensive to have the replacement cost. And, so don't save, a couple dollars a month to, lose thousands when something happens, and it just takes out that headache of a claim.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I know we spend a lot of time talking about electronics on it because electronics are high-ticket items, but we're talking other things as well. So, what about pool pumps, all those things? What about backyard patio, pergola, those types of things as well? And those dollar figures add up as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So just the structure in general, from the siding, from the foundation to the roof. A lot of carriers right now, we're in North Texas and we have so many different storms. So some companies, if it is an older roof, they'll say, okay, we'll write your policy, but we're going to give you actual cash value for the roof. And then that storm happens and, maybe it was a cash deal you bought, a couple months ago and you took advantage of the offer. But either way, that's going to, be a big headache at claim time, knowing that you're not going to get that roof replaced and you're basically going to have to pay for that out of pocket.
Exactly. So no matter whether it's contents or a structural part of the house or something connected to, or just maybe a backyard structure, all of these things you can get replacement cost value in your policy. Generally speaking, we're only talking a few bucks difference otherwise, and it's worth it so that you're covered, because you don't want to get hit all of a sudden and be like, oh, wow, I am absolutely you-know-what, and we don't want that to happen. So you got to get with JC and Patty over at Goosehead Insurance, the JC Harder Agency, so you can get squared away. Any other big points about that, JC?
Again, just make sure, cover all your angles, make sure you have the replacement costs on the structure, have the replacement costs on your belongings, and then again, I've mentioned it many times, but there is limits on those, some ticket items, whether if it's jewelry or electronics or sports memorabilia, things like that. But last little piece is almost every single lender for a new home purchase does require a replacement cost policy. So, don't waste the time even looking at those depreciation policies. Go ahead and, go with the replacement cost.
Absolutely. And then, of course, like you just talked about with jewelry, maybe jewelry, firearms, some of the sports memorabilia, if some of those items probably need to be scheduled separately. You may need appraisals on those separately. So you want to take care of that as well. But all right, JC. Well, that is some great information. Anything else?
That'll be it.
That'll be it. Well, I think we hit it really good with replacement versus cash, folks. I mean, if you didn't figure it out, you better have that replacement cost in your policy for not only the structural, but your contents as well, because you could be out of luck if you don't have it when you need it. I always recommend, folks, you need to give JC and Patty a phone call and just have them look over all of your policies. They have the ability to shop around all over the nation for the best absolute prices for you, the best policies for you, and your regular, typical local agent isn't going to have that kind of ability. They're going to sell you whatever they have. They're going to try to stick you in the box that they have, and that's it. Whereas JC and Patty really care. They're going to try to get you squared away with the absolute correct policy for you at the right price. Folks, it's jcharderagency.com is the website. Phone number where they are always stand by, 214-643-6108. It's been another great insurance segment with JC Harder. Folks, it's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. We'll be back in a few.
Sellers, how would you like your home sold guaranteed? Buyers, how would you like your bid guaranteed to win? Well, it's real simple. Call Mike Kruizinga with Chris Arnold Premier Realty and ask about their guarantee programs for both buyers and sellers. No one beats Mike's professional listing and marketing services for all price ranges, including luxuries and ranches. And few have the knowledge and patience to take first-time buyers from renting to home ownership in a tough market. Visit DFWMetroplexRealestate.com and mention you heard this on the radio. And listen to Mike Sundays, 8 a.m. on KLIF for Inside Real Estate.
Skin cancer is the most common form of cancer in the U.S. In 2011, there were more than 65,000 cases of melanoma, the most deadly form of skin cancer. Melanoma can spread to other parts of the body and causes over 9,000 deaths every year. It can be caused by too much exposure to ultraviolet rays from the sun or other sources, such as indoor tanning. Effective community skin cancer prevention programs could prevent an estimated 21,000 cases of melanoma and save $250 million each year by 2030. Everyone can help prevent skin cancer. You can protect yourself and your children, encourage your community to increase shade in public areas, and help support employers as they protect workers from the sun. There are many low-cost and easy ways to help your entire community be sun-safe. To learn more about sun safety and skin protection, visit cdc.gov/vital signs.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, Mike Kruizinga. We are back. Inside Real Estate, website insiderealstateradio.com, insiderealstateradio.com. That was great information from J.C. Harder. Thank you, J.C. Folks, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're never going to have enough time. We never do. I told you we were going to talk about vetting buyers and how we do that, and that's actually a really long subject. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of that today. I told you we're going to talk about repairs and the great convergence of the time to sell. In brief, the reason why it is a great convergence of why it is a time to sell is because if you are a seller, we have very low inventory out there. We've got an extreme high number of buyers. Well, do the math on that. That's a great thing. But it's a great time to buy and sell for you as well. A lot of you maybe bought high right before the crash. And so you've been sitting on your house for a while. Even though you maybe needed to move, you haven't been able to. Guess what? Now is the time. Prices have rebounded. And so we're able to take care of you and get you out of your house now and actually get you out and on your way with some equity. And if you're also purchasing as well, the interest rates are just so low, it's almost free money. And we haven't seen these kind of interest rates in forever. So the low interest rates allow you to increase your purchase power so you can make the upgrade purchase that you want. And guess what? You can walk away with out of your house with equity. To take that equity, use it as a down payment to the next house, your upgrade. So for those of you that needed to do that, and particularly those of you who bought high before the crash, now is the time. Now is an amazing time. All of these factors have come together to conspire in your favor as a homeowner, as a seller who needs to sell their house and buy. In a nutshell, there you go. Get into more details, maybe on the next show, because there's a lot more to that. A lot of you are also thinking if you're a seller and you've got a house that needs repairs, that you're kind of stuck for a while. That is not the case. You're thinking these repairs cost too much, particularly if you have foundation issues, you need to do flooring, etc. I've had a few clients that have this issue. We've got 2 listings coming up actually very soon. This week, we're on both these clients. We've got foundation quotes coming in from our foundation company that we work with. They are able to take payment at closing, so no out-of-pocket expense. Both these listings need foundation work done. After that foundation is work done, they actually both need flooring as well. And, of course, we've talked to our Kevin Hamus, the owner of Ideal Floors, and he takes care of all our flooring. He, too, is able to take payment at closing. So with these 2 in particular listings that are going to be coming on here in the next couple of weeks after these repairs, we're getting foundation work done, and foundation work can be expensive. And they're going to be taking payment at closing. And then also the flooring will be done, getting those payments taken at closing as well. And now, of course, a lot of the people are going to need to do some painting and maybe some stuff on top of that. But a lot of that stuff you can do on your own, or those costs can be more manageable. Big costs are foundation and flooring. If you work with us, guess what? We have the vendors to take care of you so that you don't have to pay out of pocket, and you can pay those out of the proceeds of the equity in your home at closing. So if you're sitting there and thinking, I'm stuck, well, you're not. Work with us. We will help you walk through the process, get our vendors out there to get you taken care of and get you on your way. And, we'll talk more about additional ways we can help as well through also working with our lender to help you with, maybe some other rehab options as well to still get you out of your house. Okay? So don't think you're stuck. We can definitely take care of you. And we'll talk more details on that because we just don't have enough time this show. Because I do want to run through the football brackets real quick for you, high school football brackets. Okay, had some games yesterday. Okay, let's talk 6A D1. Here's where we're at. Allen over Ryan, 48-27. Or North Shore over Dickinson, 45-14. Westlake over Atascocita, 49-28. Judson over Smithson Valley, 38-24. That's 6A D1. 6A D2. We got Mansfield over Geyer, huge, 44-7. Katy down in Houston, 35 over Manville, 17. Katie's always got a solid program. Steele over Clemens, 35-14. Lake Travis, 45 over Rockwall, 24. That's 6A D2. 5A D1. Aledo, of course, we've had head coach Wood in here recently. The state powerhouse that they are, Aledo, no surprise, 28-14 over Randall. Although I'm surprised they didn't score more points. Aledo usually scores a lot more points than that. George Ranch, 59-46 over Temple. Vista Ridge, 24-17 over Vandergrift. That was a close game. Lake Ridge over Longview. Squeaker by 3, 56-53. That's 5A D1. 5A D2, we got Lake Dallas over Everman by 3. Ridge Point over Angleton by 1, 36-35. Cedar Park, 35-21 over Calellan. Cedar Park, always great program as well. Hey, Frisco Lone Star. You know, I grew up in Frisco when it was a small little town. 49-34 over Lancaster. Nice win. That's 5A D2. Let's hit 4A D1. Wiley's 14-7 over Brownwood. Carthage 56-40 over Silsby. La Vega 20-7 over China Spring. Argyle 32-29 by 3 over Liberty. That's 4A D1. Let's hit 4A D2 real quick. Salina, 42, huge over Crum. That's not a surprise. They killed Crum. West Orange, 42, killing Belleville. Belleville managed 3 points in that game. Cuero over Sinton, shutout, 28-0. And Gilmer, low-scoring game, 24-15 over Atlanta. That's 4A D2. Let's hit 3A right quick. 3A D1. Brock over Shallowater, 38-10. Cameron over Teague, 28-21. Mathis over Hitchcock, 54-27. Mineola, 45. Sunnyvale, 28. 3A D2. Idalou over Henrietta, 27-7. Franklin, 76 points. There we go. High-scoring game over Crockett, 50. East Bernard, 35-21 over Bowling. Wascom, 57 over 28 West Rusk. That's 3A D2. You know what? I don't have time for 2A. Sorry. We'll get to you maybe next week. And 6-man, you know what? We're going to do some 6-man talk maybe next week. So there's your roundabout on the brackets for UIL playoffs, and we'll talk more about that as that moves on along. And, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Terry Wagner with Supreme Lending, Mike Kruizinga right here inside Real Estate. See you in a few.
Okay, so, Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep. And my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin Team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
It's a very, very fine house. That is correct. Inside Real Estate, folks. Mike Kruizinga. We are back. Time for Supreme Lending Rockwall Mortgage Talk. We got Terry Wagner in the studio. Folks, website for those guys for all of your refinance needs and your mortgage needs, RockyMartin.com. Rocky with an IE, RockyMartin.com. Phone number 866-607-5667. Terry, welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, thanks.
So what's going on in the mortgage world?
Well, lots of stuff going on in the mortgage world. You know
that.
that.
As always.
With all the new changes, it's a little bit different right now, but we're settling into the changes just fine.
Yeah, they're always got new hoops for you guys to jump through.
Yes, and the hoops are many right now. There's lots of changes going on. So if you have a mortgage loan going right now, just be patient and be kind to your loan officer.
Hang on tight.
That's right.
Hang on tight. You're in for a ride.
That's right. Well, today I thought I would just talk about credit scores. Just real simple. What do you need? What do you have? What can we do with what you have? That type of talk today.
Sounds good.
You've got 3 different credit scores, 3 different credit reporting bureaus. And in order to do a mortgage, you need at least one score. And what we're going to do is take the middle. If you have all 3 credit reporting agencies reporting a score for you, we're going to take the middle. So if you've got a 700, 675, and a 650, 675 is your mid qualifying score. That's the score we're going to use. If you just have 2 credit scores, 2 reporting agencies reporting a score, we're going to take the lower.
Of course,
because we're such positive people.
That's right.
And if you just have 1 score, then obviously that's the score that we're going to use. It's important to know what those scores are. A lot of times when I'm talking to customers, they don't want me to pull the credit. I don't think I've got good credit. I'm not going to be able to buy a house. But what I always tell them is we have to know where our starting point is before we can formulate a plan.
Right.
When we pull someone's credit, it's not necessarily for you to be able to buy a house tomorrow. Sometimes it is, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not always the case. But we can always put together a game plan, but we have to know what that starting point is. So it's always important to pull the credit and see exactly where we are.
Yeah, we can't do anything without figuring that out, where you're at.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if there is no credit score, there's nothing we can do at that point except try to build that credit report. And then in doing that, we can give you pointers, what you need to do, what you need to go and try to accomplish to possibly get some scores. We have plans for that as well. So all is not lost just because you don't have a credit score.
Right, just because you've been off the grid.
Right. We're going to get you back on the grid.
Yes, and maybe you've been off the grid strategically,
right.
But unfortunately to buy a house, unless you're coming cash, and cash is keen, we're going to have to put you on the grid.
I have a customer that just this week that has been a little frustrating. I've been talking with him for about a year. And I told him, go get you a revolving credit card. I've got to have something on that credit report.
Right.
So that we can work from there. So a couple of months ago he told me he got him a credit card. I don't want a credit card, Terry, but I went and got one. And so I talked to him this week and I said, okay, how's that going? You've been charging on it, paying it off. What have you been doing? He said, okay, I'm going to be real honest with you. I said, okay, well, that's a good thing to be with your mortgage loan officer.
Yeah,
you got to be
better
honest. He says, I got the credit card and I turned around and sent it right back. I said,
they just couldn't take it.
Okay, it's just too much stress. But we have to have that credit score. So it probably didn't do anything for his credit report, even though he applied for, got the credit card. They sent it to him. He turned around and shipped it right back. So they closed the account. That didn't help us at all.
Yeah, being here in Texas, we're all hardworking folks, and we all probably come from that background that is, don't buy it if you can't afford it.
Right.
But when you're buying a house, they do want to know that, hey, you've borrowed from somebody and paid it back.
Right.
It's what we're trying to figure out, right?
And there are some great accounts out there to get for people like that. I understand not wanting to have a bunch of debt. That's a great thing.
Absolutely.
But so use it to your advantage. Get one of the ones with the rewards on it, or the travel miles, or reward yourself for taking care of your credit the right way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can pay your car payment every month by that, and then you get your air miles or whatever benefit
exactly
you
right.
like. Yeah, it's a great point.
Yep. Okay, so when we look at a credit report, we're looking at layers of risk. Not necessarily just that credit score, but layers of risk. So we're going to be looking at several things. Are there disputes on your credit report? You know, a lot of credit repair agencies that you and I have talked about before, that's the first thing they're going to do. If they see something on your credit reports, they're just going to dispute everything. Well, on a disputed account, what that does is take that account out of the scoring model. So that is not playing a part in it, in what your score is. So if there are multiple disputed accounts on a credit report, obviously that's going to affect the score quite a bit. Well, we're going to take a look at that. Okay. Because if everything's disputed, then we need those undisputed so we can really determine what that true credit score is. Okay? Or we need the dispute removed or the account removed, which may be what happens, you know, if it's truly not theirs.
And that is a bit of a process, and so we got to figure that out and get the ball rolling to get that figured out and get it taken care of.
That's correct. And so just some of the other things that we're looking for, in addition to the disputes, we're looking for, are there judgments? Are there tax liens? Is there bankruptcy? Is there foreclosures? What's the timing on those things? So that we can determine the timing, again, for you to be able to purchase a home. That's our main goal, is for you to be able to purchase a home. And we want to analyze that for you and look at the layers of risk that we need to look at.
Right.
Okay. Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the credit report in the format that it comes to us. If you've got lates on the credit report, how recent are they? How many times were you late? How many accounts were you late on? Those add to our layers of risk.
Sure.
Our credit report is good for 120 days. So if we pull a credit now and we get it fixed, get the credit score where we need it to be, we've eliminated some of the layers of risk, and we get it repaired within 120 days, then we're going to have to re-pull that credit report, but then that one's good for 120 days. 3 months, we're good.
So once we get a good one.
Once we get a good one, we're good for you to go out and shop for a home.
Right. And we're not trying to pull it a bunch of times. We get it the initial time, we figure out what we got to do to you, how to help you, if it's credit repair, whatever the case may be. We get all that done.
Right.
Then we get to pull it again, boom, it should be good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. We don't want to fix one thing and then pull it.
Right.
Fix another thing and pull it. We want to fix everything that we know to fix as well as we know to fix it, and then re-pull.
Right.
Okay. So other things that we use to consider. What's the type and amount of your outstanding credit? What kind of credit do you have? Is it just revolving? Is it just installment loans? And I will tell you that revolving debt does more for your credit score than other types of debt. So if you've got revolving debt, we're going to look at what the balance, your current balance is versus your high credit limit. So if you've got a $1,000 credit limit on a credit card and you've got it charged to $999, your credit score is going to be lower than if that card had a balance of $100.
Right.
So we're going to look at all of that. We're going to look at the age of the actual credit report, and then each of the trade lines that are listed on there. How long have you had those? If you've had a credit card for 12 years and you've never been late on it and you keep the balance fairly low, that's a great account on your credit report.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Recent changes in the number of open accounts. So let's say you had 3 accounts for the last 10 years, and then all of a sudden you added 6 new credit cards. That's not great.
Not good.
Not good at all. No.
What's going on there?
That's right.
What are you up to?
What are you up to? What are you buying?
That's right. Do you have a problem?
That's right. And there are some out there.
Yes, there are.
What are the recent inquiries showing on your credit report? So when we put a loan together, what we're looking at, not just the actual trade lines that you have on there, but who else has pulled your credit? Have you gone and bought a car that we need to include in your debt ratio? Have you gone and bought furniture, which how many people do? How many times have you ever had that happen to you, Mike? Where the day before closing, they went and bought a refrigerator and that messed everything
up. Or a lot of things.
Yes. A new car.
Yeah,
I had
new
one
furniture,
buy a new car.
all kinds of new stuff. And you're like, oh, yeah, great. We just threw your debt ratio off.
Right.
Because a lot of these people are tight getting into a house and they don't understand how tight it is.
Right.
And we tell them all the time, don't buy a car, don't buy a motorcycle, don't do this, don't do that. Do nothing. Do not breathe until we close.
Hold your breath.
Yes.
You sit there but I love the customers that will actually share with you. Some overshare, but
yes,
but
they
that
do.
share with you about what they're doing and with their money, and can I move this money from this account to this account? Those are my favorite customers because they're the ones that are not going to get messed up right at the end of the transaction.
True.
Yeah.
And they maybe tell us a little too much.
Yes, we do.
Too
We do
much.
definitely have some overshare, don't we, Mike?
That's right. But a big point here, folks, is like, look, if you're sitting there thinking and, you can't buy a house, or if you're thinking maybe you got some issues on the credit, hey, everybody's had issues on their credit.
Absolutely.
And if you just ignore it, then you're never going to know. And so, for example, the person that we recently were talking about, I met him at the gas station.
Oh, yeah.
I was on my Harley, and he stopped, he was a Harley rider himself previously, and we were talking about motorcycles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so he needs to buy a house,
Right.
and he's got some things kind of going on, and then we're going to deal with them and get them squared away. But, if you're just sitting around thinking you can't do it, or you're worried about what's on your credit, well, let's figure it out.
Right.
Get you over here, Terry, and get a game plan for them.
90% of the people that we talk to have something on their credit that could potentially stop them, but typically we have a plan for it on how to fix it.
Right. And it's not like it's you can never buy a house ever.
Exactly.
I mean, generally this stuff can be dealt with in 3 to 6 months, if not a lot quicker than that. You might be looking at a 30-day fix.
Correct. Right. While you're looking for a house for them, I'm working on their credit. A lot of times
Exactly.
that's what happens.
Right.
You go ahead. They're good. I'm going to get them fixed. I need about 30 days.
Right.
Right.
And it, sometimes it takes a little while to get that done.
Right.
Working with their work schedule, finding the right house, and all that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, what we had there was just another great segment with Terry Wagner, Supreme Lending Rockwall. That was our mortgage talk. Folks, 866-607-5667 is the number where you can get all of your refinance and mortgage needs taken care of. Rocky Martin, Rocky with an IE, RockyMartin.com is their website. Folks, Mike Kruizinga, Inside Real Estate. See you next Sunday, 8 a.m. Have a great week. Neither the hosts nor the guests or contributors of the show Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga are attorneys, CPAs, tax advisors, or investment advisors, and are not providing legal advice during the course of the show. If you need professional legal advice or services in any of those categories, please seek the appropriate professional. The host is a licensed real estate agent in Texas with the Chris Arnold Premier Realty Brokerage, a fair housing broker and member of the MLS. Texas real estate agents are prohibited. 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 Texas real estate agents